Hi, I'm Laura.
And I'm Tricia.
We're standing outside the Scripps mansion here in Lake Oriion. We were actually here several weeks ago to take a workshop.
In Artists in Residence program, there were 4 artists, and Laura and I chose to go with the painter, Victor Pytko.
Victor was nice enough to sit down with us for a few minutes prior to the workshop, give us some background on himself and what we're going to be seeing today in the workshop. So hopefully you can come along with us for the next half hour. You've been a lifelong artist.
I have, yes.
A New York native and here in Michigan for a long time. But just in the past couple of years, maybe the past 7 or 8 years, your career has just taken off. Maybe there was a turning point or something that happened there. If you could let us know what was.
Well, I've always been a painter who said someday tomorrow I would, commit myself to being an artist. And obviously I'm not a young man. And I woke up in 2002 and looked in the mirror and said, my God, tomorrow is here already. So it's time to buckle down and do what I really want to do with the rest of my life, and it's being known as an artist. I've spent 35 years in business communications as a professional. I continue to be that, even though the opportunities are more limited these days because of the economy, but that opens up the whole development of as a professional artist opportunity.
That's great. That's fantastic. I spent some time looking at your artwork, and your artwork is very creative. It's very unique. There's not a single style. There's not one spot that you fit on. You're across the realm. I wanted to read a small quote I read on your website that kind of hits it on the key, and maybe you could expand a little bit to it. It says, you're a postmodern artist who explores the edges of media and sometimes jumps off.
Yes.
You use so many different materials. Touch a little bit about on your different mediums that you use.
When you look at paint, you have to understand the chemistry of paint, and that it's really pigment, and that pigment comes from the earth. So, in my opinion, anything that you can use to help create an image or communicate something, a thought or an idea that you have, is equally acceptable as paint. So the medium or the media that you use can be what normal people would call junk or trash, but it can take on a whole new context. One of my favorite art stores happens to be a home builder store where I can go in and use doors, I can use vinyl concrete mix, glue, and other conventional building products and incorporate that into the artwork, which gives me probably a greater repertoire of tools and materials than you would normally find in an art store.
You've done some great abstract work also with a variety of media, and then you do the landscape. So it's like you're a switch hitter, you're back and you're forth. Do you go through any kind of preparation before you go from using PVC pipe in your copper series or your Restless Lake series to a landscape such as this, or your Empire Beach
It's
series?
an interesting question. I don't think I have any forethought. It's like I have a lot to say, and sometimes you have to use a foreign language or try a foreign language to communicate. So the idea of using abstract as a style, using unconventional materials to make a statement, it all depends on how I feel at the time. And I don't think about it too much beforehand. I just do it. And I think that's the true nature of an artist, is not to overanalyze and be unafraid of what the public or a gallery owner might say. Historically, I think that gallery owners in particular prefer their artists to be consistent in style and approach, so that when their customers are buying or their patrons are buying the work, they feel that they're making an investment in something. And if that investment changes constantly, they don't have that same level of confidence in the artist. But again, I don't want to be concerned with that. I'm more like an explorer. I think of myself more like Lewis and Clark, and going off into uncharted territory, and just being unrestricted in terms of putting out what I'm feeling at the time.
Fantastic, very creative again. I enjoyed viewing your artwork and looking at it. I'm looking forward to our workshop today.
Great.
One last note, kind of a personal note, that on your website you had people of inspiration that gave you a boost to your career.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And one of the first ones you put down was your third grade teacher.
That's right.
And what did she leave you with? What did she give you?
That an adult can have fun and enjoy things. As a child, you don't have the history of people telling you you're doing it wrong. You just naturally pick up a pencil or a crayon or some tempera paint and go at it and express yourself. And that feeling of freedom of expression is so wonderful. About midway through my academic education on art, a teacher asked me what I wanted to get out of the classroom, and I told her that I wanted to feel that feeling again, capture that feeling again of freedom. So she gave me tempera paints and a big fat brush and told me to forget about the conventional paintings and brushes and just go at images that reflected my childhood, my favorite toy, my parents, my family home, and it was very liberating. But when I noticed back in, I think it was third grade, my instructor, she painted and drew on her own, not in the classroom. And I saw her work, and it was just astounding that an adult could actually create this. And in art and expressing yourself, there's really no value. There's no good, there's no bad, there's no evaluation system other than I did it or I didn't do it. And you want to be on the side of I did it. And I make lots of art that I reject because it doesn't meet my own criteria. Something went wrong. And other people would look at it and say, "You're throwing this away?" I'd say, "Yeah, I've advanced beyond that." And that's okay. That's part of the process of painting. To be an artist means you have to make art. And to make art, you have to make art.